Hi, this is Brandon Smiley from thirstgym.com. Today we're talking about an exercise called the hanging leg raise. This is a phenomenal abdominal and hip flexor exercise you can put in your training programs for your clients and your athletes. I love training the hip flexors and abdominals and flexion to be able to improve stride frequency for our athletes, but it also makes people feel like they're working their abdominals relatively hard. I will give this with a caveat like I've done with our Roman chair leg raise video that an athlete or client with chronically tight hip flexors probably should avoid this first. We need to learn how to teach them to control their pelvis and their rib cage and get everything stacked and to be able to resist motion before we begin to create it. But if you've got that athlete that's able to do that, they're strong, they're freakish, and you want to be able to work on the hip flexors and abdominals, this is a great exercise. We use this a lot with our running and our swimming population. So we're going to show two different ways that you can do this. So I'm short, I need a box to stand on, but it's also going to provide some feedback as we go to talk about this exercise. So you probably want some kind of like chin-up bar. And so we've got hanging leg raise straps here on our rig, and these are great. And I'm going to talk about these here in a second, but first I'm going to talk about the hanging variation with just our hands, and then we'll go to these and maybe what the differences are a little bit. So you're just going to grab the pull-up or chin-up bar, just double overhand. You're basically going to get in a good old-fashioned pull-up position. Let your legs hang good and long. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pull our legs up under control together. We're going to get them as high as we can when we pull. We're not going to try to swing and, tap our toes at the bar like CrossFit. That might be a CrossFit exercise, but if we're trying to train the hip flexion and abdominals, we want to be able to control and own movement as much as we possibly can. So just keep that in mind, that you do not have to touch this bar. So you're going to have your arms good and long here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move our legs together, push our hips back while we move them. And then we're going to come back down into the start position. So we're going to be here, back, here, back. So notice that I'm able to pull my legs up good and high, get in that L position. I'm tapping the box to briefly control myself, and I'm going back down. So that's why I like the box personally, as it helps stop you. Too many people sometimes get out of control, and this is a good way to make sure that you basically tap that and you can go again. With our straps here, what you're basically going to do is you're going to put your arms in here. We're going to make sure that our elbows are outside of the straps. You can then hold on to the bar or hold on to the straps. I prefer to hold on to the straps because I have TRX arms and can't reach the bar. But once I've got my elbows in, my arms in and my elbows hanging out a little bit, we'll do the exact same motion. Toes forward, pull, back down, control. And we're going to try to get as high as we comfortably can on each rep and keep that control. The other thing that you can do when you do this, if you want to try to get a better contraction, so to speak, you can try to pull your elbows down into your hip crease. So they're not going to get there, but that's what you want to think about from a coaching cue standpoint. Pull your elbows towards your hips. That might get you some extra range of motion that you didn't think you had. Now, while this is a fantastic exercise, as you can tell, I'm already out of breath. It's definitely more of an advanced version. By all means, to regress this, you can just do basically knee raises out of it, and I'll just probably make a separate video about that to talk about it in its entirety. But that would be a regression that you could do from this, and this would be a progression from your Roman chair leg raise that you would typically see in a lot of gyms. For us, we generally program these for max reps, so our athletes, clients get as many good quality reps as you can. And if you can get 3 sets of 20, then we will let you start to add weight. The way that we add weight is we just put a med ball together at the feet, and then the same thing. The nice thing about that is we also get some adductor facilitation and that good long lever arm. They're only using 2, 4, 6 pound weights the most. You're not seeing kids slap 20, 30 pounds on their feet like that. So again, this is a great exercise. We're programming it 3, 4, 5 sets as many as you can. Don't overcomplicate it, but make sure that you coach it well and that they're not just flopping back and forth. So the bad reps would look like this. And that doesn't really do a whole lot. We're using some momentum and some swinging. We're not keeping the legs good and long. We're not actually pulling with the hip flexors and the abdominals. We're kind of just flopping back and forth. And to me, that's kind of useless. So if you've got any questions, feel free to leave in the comment section. Thanks. Have a great day.